Hey everybody, number one Marmaduke fan here. I just watched Batman The Long Halloween, the DC basically direct to video movie release. I really like these animated movies. They're all of similar quality. They're not Disney, they're not Studio Ghibli. They are good, solid, low budget movies. I would give them a range of basically C plus to B plus is where all of these movies fall in. But I like them better than the Marvel cinematic movies if I just want to put on a superhero movie in the background. There are some pros and cons to this movie, and it is a mystery. So this is one I recommend you watch without spoilers. So I'm going to try to be spoiler free in this. I would strongly recommend the book over this movie, but I'll talk about a couple things I liked. Let's talk about what I liked first. So some good characterizations. Some of the things they added to the movie that weren't in the book, I actually thought fleshed out the characters kind of nicely. They gave a real good motivating factor for why the serial killer Holiday hates Carmine Falcone and is out for revenge against him. I thought that was a good addition, actually. Barbara Gordon is added. She's only alluded to briefly in the book, and it's a sweet little appearance. She's kind of like a cute tomboy kid. She loves her dad. So yeah, it makes her a little bit more personal, and it just adds a little charm and fan service for people who are fans of the Batgirl character. Sophia Falcone, her design is slightly updated to make her more of a waifu material, but she's still consistent to the original characters in many ways. She's still a big gargantuan woman for men of culture. She's still got, tough Roman emperor style features like the original comic character did. They just made her slightly more easy on the eyes. That's all. Generally, the whole movie has a clean look. I think the fight scene animation, that shows some passion. They cared about it. So it generally looks pretty good. Now, maybe that's the pro and the con. So let's transition into some things I don't like. So these movies, they're solid. I've never watched one of these movies and absolutely hated it. None of them are that artistically bold, however. And I feel like The Long Halloween, if you were going to adapt it, this was a good opportunity for Warner Brothers to try something a little more artistically daring. Tim Sal's art style is very abstract, a little creepy, a little weird. It fits with the tone of the story. Sometimes it's kind of wonky and pretty off-kilter. So something like that's probably impossible to animate, except that they did one sort of flashback sequence where they clearly were paying homage to Sal's art style. Seeing that one scene just made me think, oh, I wish they animated the whole movie like this. But I understand that for animation, you have to simplify things and make things cleaner. However, I also think most of the movie looks kind of dull and samey, and the book is very visually distinct. It creates mood. It uses visual symbolism. The colorist uses a lot of symbolic and expressive color choices. Tim Sal, his art's a little abstract and cartoony and weird, but it's also there's a lot of consideration to expression and composition in Tim Sal's art. I really wish that they drew from that a little bit more. You probably just heard my plug-in making the noise there. All right, so I want a little bit. I wish it was a little bit more visually bold. Second, story consideration. So I think in the movie, Batman is made more incompetent, and I think they were doing a thing. The narrative thing they're trying to do is it's sort of like Batman's supposed to be young and early on in his career, and it's never occurred to him that he has to learn how to be a detective. And that's kind of an interesting angle. It's sort of like he's consciously trying to improve as Batman. However, some of the things he does are things that make you wonder, why has this guy been killed a million times already? I'll spoil this. There's one little scene where he's chasing the Scarecrow, and he grabs the Scarecrow, and he's got a mask on to protect him from Scarecrow gas, and Scarecrow just casually stabs him with a syringe to fill him with hallucinogenic drugs. Really? This guy's been doing this for over a year, and he hasn't learned how to just not get stabbed by the weak, pathetic little crook he just caught. There are some moments like that where the heroes seem to kind of take a pratfall because the story demands it, and it takes me out the story a bit. Catwoman's given a stronger role in the movie. In the book, it's a bit more of a redemption arc. She's more of a thief She's not entirely in Batman's camp. Throughout the movie, they're playing up that sexy tete-a-tete thing where she wants to sleep with Batman, but she's a bad girl, so she doesn't want to entirely leave her thieving ways. I do like Catwoman in this movie. That was one of the additions I liked. However, I think frequently they make Catwoman look competent at the expense of Batman. So it's like she'll swoop in and save Batman from getting shot, and he'll say like, I was fine. So Batman was a little cooler than her in the book, definitely. All right, so I talked about the art style. There goes a police siren. It's just there's absolutely no professionalism in this show. Okay. Here's the main thing. Here's where the main thing that hurts this movie is they basically restructured the entire plot of The Long Halloween to make it fit into 2 movies, and I think that strips a lot of dramatic tension out of the mystery angle. So a good mystery angle, it's a whodunit. Who is the holiday serial killer? So when you read the book, the experience of reading the book is sort of like this questions hanging over you. Who's the serial killer? Who's the killer? Who's the killer? And it all builds up to the climax where the big reveal happens. And then within pages of the first big reveal, there's a second big reveal. So it's sort of like a big 1-2 punch, and that's the end of the story. In the movie, everything's rejiggered to make the first movie have sort of a little resolution. They kill off one of the suspects, which means you spend the whole second half of the movie without that guy being a suspect anymore. The emphasis is totally different. Rather than having one thing build up to a dramatic big reveal at the end, instead everything's kind of like dragged out in chunks and pieces. So I don't enjoy it as much as a mystery story. And of course, if you watch the movie, it's going to spoil the book. If you read the book, it's going to spoil the movie. So my recommendation would be read the book first. Enjoy it's one of the best Batman stories. So read it, get the full experience that way. I did enjoy this movie. So it's the kind of movie where if I'm doing art or doing chores or something, I'll just pop it on in the background to have something to listen to. I spent most of the movie thinking about, man, this was such a good comic. I've got to go and read the comic right away. So if the comic's an A+, I'd give this movie B-. Yeah, I was going to say C+, but B-. I actually enjoyed it. So that's it. Those are my thoughts. I'm going to do maybe like an analysis of the comic second, because that's going to be a little bit more in depth. That's it. No more Marmaduke fan. Love you guys. Catch you later.